I want to tell you about the difference between being a leader making decisions to be popular instead of making great decisions. I watch too many people make decisions in an effort to maximize how people will view them positively, in an effort to be popular. Show of hands, who was popular in high school? There's two of us, so the rest of you guys were nerds. It's comfortable. Wasn't it comfortable being so popular? What's your name?
Larry.
Larry, wasn't it just a comfortable thing to be so popular? Yeah. By the way, does anyone in the room want to dispute the fact that he was popular in high school? That guy right there has got issues, Larry, with your popularity. I'm just saying, you need to talk to that guy. So,
I married his girlfriend.
Oh! You know, most people are scared of their shadows. They don't want to break out and experience a little more authenticity, a little less censoring, a little more audacious behavior at work. They're scared to death, and sometimes they're justified for being scared. I don't tell people that being excellent is easy. Oh no, oh no. Being best at what you're at, being top of the game, that's a risky thing. You have to step up, exert crazy effort, and sometimes say and do things that not everyone will like. You better love, if you look at high-performing teams, you'll learn this. You better love candor more than civility. Now hear me carefully, civility is important. Congeniality, positivity, call it what you want. That's good stuff. But if you do not allow candor, forthright, honest, in the moment, needed conversation, if you don't let candor trump civility, I'll promise you that your team and your organization will be mediocre instead of amazing. You have to have more candor than civility, but, here's the big but, you have to stop short of allowing jerks in your workplace. Show of hands, how many people have ever worked with a jerk? Are they sitting next to you right now? I'm just checking. I like to know which tables to stay away from. The greatest people we revere, believe me, take all kinds of risks. So I'm very honest about laying out that framework for people when they tell me that they're striving, they want to grow, and they want my advice. I say, I can tell you some things to do that I know will make you more successful, but you'd better darn sure hear me when I tell you that it's not risk-free at all. I'm going to tell you the hard way that I learned to remember the need for feedback. This story was about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I'm on stage in Cincinnati. I'm telling some stories, a couple hundred execs from some company, and I'm running through story A and B, and it's going well. And at one point, I noticed a man in the audience. I won't tell you his last name. His first name's Mark. And Mark was sitting there, and I noticed him because I knew the guy a little bit. And I knew he wasn't part of that company. I knew he was a professional speaker. And it was the first time at that stage in my career I had ever been in front of a group and saw a professional speaker sitting there looking at me. And I was very intrigued by that, and I'll tell you why. The reason I was intrigued was because I knew this guy was not a casual observer of communicators. He was like me. When he watches someone speak or do a presentation, he's slicing and dicing 55 variables and thinking in a very detailed way. And so I knew when I saw him there that if I was going to be consistent with the feedback I give and the advice I give to students and clients around the country, that I was going to have to step up and go ask that pro what it was that he saw of me as I was on stage running around. And so I did that. And when the gig was over, I shook a lot of hands and some people clapped, which was always kind. And I ran quickly to get Mark before he left. And I said, hey, how you doing? Remember me? We met at so-and-so. And he said, nice to see you. Good job. I said, thanks. I said, I know what you do and how good you are. Would you give me some feedback on what I just did? Tell me what you saw. And he did one of these jobs where he stepped back a little bit. You know how people do that when they get... I'm a big bald guy and people get creeped out by that. So anyhow, he stepped back and I said, give it to me. I know what you see. Come on. And he started with some positive feedback, which is a good place to start, and everyone feels better doing that instead of telling you what's wrong with you. And so he said, look, remember this story or remember this story? You need to figure out how to leverage those even more because those are high impact. I'm not sure you're really using them to full effect. And I said, well, thanks. And then he paused and he did another one of these things. And I said, come on, give it to me. You saw some things I could do better, correct? And he said, okay, well, you know how you're loud? I said, yeah, I'm loud. He said, well, you're animated. You run around. You never stand still. I'm thinking this is the worst feedback I've ever received in my life. He said, well, you wear glasses. I'm like, he just told me I wear glasses? What? He goes, well, when you're running around stage and you're telling stories and you're wearing your glasses, sometimes they slip a little bit and you always fix them the same way, Todd. You take your index finger and you go like that. And then he stepped back one last time. And he said, except when you're holding that remote control clicker in your hands for your PowerPoint slides. Todd, I'm afraid to tell you this, but you gave your audience the bird about 50 times today. As a big box consultant flying around dealing with people inside corporations trying to fix their problems, the number one thing that intrigued me wasn't trying to fix their problems. It was how few people felt positive engaged, happy, full of purpose when they went to work every day. That actually became an almost depressing thing for me until I figured out that if I wanted to, I could shape a career around trying to turn that tide, making it a higher percentage of people who felt great, not just okay, not just tolerant, but good, if not great, about going to work and making a difference. For the last couple decades, we have passionately raised a couple of generations of what I call trophy kids. You know what I'm talking about? Trophy kids, right? They play pee-wee. She knows what I'm talking about. They play pee-wee sports. Everybody has fun. They don't keep score. And at the end of the season, the end of the game, who gets a trophy? Everybody gets a trophy or a ribbon or a medal, and they go, you did so good even when they didn't. Is that too harsh for you? Listen to me, scientists, don't forget, right? We're raising children who become, for you as managers, trophy employees. And they think they deserve the Superstar High Five Award because they showed up every day on time all month. No, that's a low standard. Please tell me you understand that. That's a low standard. So I want to tell you about what earning it means, about giving rewards contingent on performance, excellent performance, not just mediocre performance. Then I said, I want you to stand up on your chair. About 5 people opened their eyes, said, hell with this, I'm not doing it. 2 or 3 crazies jumped up on their chair like, yes, finally someone has asked me. Quick show of hands, how many people in the room are married? Did you really know what you're getting into? I saw an amazing show of nonverbal solidarity and support for me. They were all looking at me like, hang in there, man. So I walked in this room this morning, I mingled with you beautiful, caffeinated, hungover people, and I saw something. Some of you were staring at my bald head, a few of you saw the earrings, a few more, for different reasons, saw the tattoos, and you had that useful look. I'm used to that look. Who's the musician? What's he doing here? I'm not a musician.